No worries. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Office Hours for Wednesday, January 9th. And we have a brave new world of Zoom to experience today. We changed all the things, and we're going to play with a couple of functions in here just to see, whoa, what just happened there? Okay. One sec. Did I kick you guys out? You're all still here? Okay, good.
Still here.
Okay, we're gonna test this and see how it works. What would you prefer? Okay. Okay, so one sec. Apparently, this polling tool works inside of Zoom. We'll try saving it, see if it pops up as an option.
In the chat, or where is it?
Yeah, I think it'll go in the chat. I'm just clicking on the launch poll. Do you see it anywhere?
Yep. It just pops up as a box in the middle of my screen.
Oh, okay. Neat.
So,
Vote, please.
But I'm good with both, so do I just hit both?
me too.
Oh,
No, it won't let me.
okay. Wait, let me cancel that. Let me see. Let's try that again. I'm going to end that poll. And I'm going to edit it. I'm going to edit it. I think I can add a third option here. If all goes well. Where? No. Okay. Well, this is an exciting learning day for me. I've learned all manner of things, but apparently some of them not quite well enough. As
What happened to Zoom earlier today? Were they adding new features, or?
I think so. It's still, we still can't get into our office hours one. It froze. It took from 9 a.m. until 20 minutes ago for Eileen's office hours to finish processing. We're not sure why, and we're all locked out of it. None of us can get into it. So
This morning when I couldn't get in, I sent a email to the help because I thought it was me because you guys were all in there, I thought.
yeah.
And I did finally get a response saying they were having some problems generally and they were working on them. So I guess it wasn't me necessarily.
No, it was much wider spread. None of my clients could get into their meetings today. It was all very awkward and everybody was freaking out. But yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, we'll vote the old-fashioned way, I guess. Here, I'll relaunch it. You got to pick one. So yeah, maybe only vote if you have only one or the other that you can make it to, I guess would be the thing. If you can make it to both, great. We've had one vote offline for the evening time. Yeah. 2 votes for the evening time. So far it's winning, and that's fine. Doesn't matter at all to me. Most people can come is better. Okay, well, that's a fun new feature. The other new feature that we enabled is Whiteboard, which I am just trying to figure out where that is and how you launch it, because that seems extra cool.
Oh, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Oh, so, right, so those 2 time slots still exist. It's just a question of when we're going to discuss branding.
Our StoryBrand chats that we're going to do over the next 3 weeks or whatever. So I think seems to be leaning towards the evening one is easier for a few of the people
yeah,
who
that's
come.
cool.
So if that works, I will officially make that a thing, and that'll be great. Yeah, I don't know how the whiteboard works. I guess I'll get on that for next week. We have a couple other things on the agenda for tonight, and I don't know what everybody else would like to do. But the things on our agenda currently, one sec here, I'll pull them out of my list. We have a couple Asana questions, which we can start with, which is Marianne, I think. And then Joanne McLean wanted to do some Google Analytics, so we'll see if she makes it. If not, we can try with my site and see if we can connect it on there. I can't remember if I already did that or not. And we were going to talk about newsletter onboarding. So if Joanne doesn't show up, we'll probably put the Google Analytics stuff to Monday, and we'll focus on the newsletter onboarding because I know there's some interest in that. Does anybody have any other stuff in any of those categories or other categories that they would like to add to the mix? Just dump it in the chat and or tell me. That works too. Okay, Marianne, do you have your Asana pulled up?
Yep.
Okay, you want to screen share and we'll start with that while people ponder?
Hold on. I've got it on my other computer, so just let me figure it out. Here, Chrome. Log in.
And there's a few people wandering the cosmos, lost because they can't find us. We're in the wrong room. I'm just gonna put in a couple more links.
Asana doesn't mind if you're logged in on more than one device, does it?
No.
No. Okay. So good. So so I go. Where do I go? Screen share.
At the bottom in the middle, there should be a green box with an up arrow.
Right. So I want to. Is that the Asana? Hold on. Yes. Okay. Okay. So I was doing a bunch of stuff today, so I don't know what that is. Can you see that?
The task to do soon, or like the weird thing
The
popping up?
weird graphic thing. What is that?
Don't know. That's just weird.
Yeah. So there were two things. One is that I made, this was my brain dump file. So I subdivided it and sorted it in sections.
Nice.
And some of them can just stay in here. So I've relabeled brain dump organization for now. And it's got everything from reference to, Asana and Scrivener file work, to motivation, to branding, to website. Yeah. And then writing, I don't mind if writing has double entry. So I've got the project and it sits in this one collective thing that doesn't matter. And then I've got marketing, which can stay here, list building and engagement, which can stay here, publishing business, which could stay here, education and reading. And then there's a bunch of stuff that I brain dumped that doesn't really belong in my writing life.
Right.
And so I wanted to actually either make a separate project of it or move it to my other workspace, which is personal stuff. But
right.
I don't know. I can't find a way to do that.
So moving it to another workspace is not so effective. But you can make a project called personal and then just favorite it so it pops up at the top, and then it won't be mixed in with all your other stuff that you have there.
So I did that, right? I created this project called personal, and I put all these items in it.
Yeah, so go to the right of personal, like over on the left-hand side where you've got all your projects.
Yeah.
And click on those three little dots and then click add to favorites.
Oh.
And your favorites show up in a different section.
Up here.
Scroll up. Okay. So that's if you want the shortcut to it to be somewhere different.
Yeah.
That's also a nice spot. Like, let's say you have a focus book that you're working on right now, And
Oh yeah.
then you could favorite that so that the things you're concentrating on are showing up in that section, separate from the 6 million projects that are like
all down here. As you can see, I've added everything I've ever thought of down there.
Yeah. Exactly.
So my other question was, in the brain dump file, where like under writing tasks, they can be here, and then I've allocated them to specific writing projects.
Yeah.
So they show up in those projects. But in this one, if I delete them from here, are they gone from everywhere?
Yes.
So I just have to leave them in here.
Like for personal stuff? Is it, are these reference tasks, or it's like a thing you actually want to accomplish?
Yeah, tasks, actual tasks.
So actual tasks, they should just be getting checked off when you do them, right?
Right, but if I go in organization, they have to stay here. Because I created.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I can't just leave them in personal and delete them from organization.
Well, you would just untag them from organization.
Well, they're not. Like here, plant bulbs, okay?
So it's in two things. That's the only way it's showing up in that organization project. So you see to the right, when you've got different projects, you can have the same information. Like let's say you have you have one piece of information that is your access for your KDP account or whatever it is. And you want that to show up in every single book project that you have, so that if you're working on publishing a book, you don't have to go hunt down the pieces. So you could just click the little plus sign to add another project, right? So for anybody who isn't sure how there got to be two of these things associated with this task, that would be how. And if you don't want it to show in organization anymore and you just want it in personal, you can just X one or the other.
Right, but okay, so
when you check it off, it's checked off.
Okay, so I don't see how to do that. So I'm in I'm in plant bulbs right now.
Yeah, to the right, there's the plus sign and an X.
There isn't.
No, there is. Our faces might be over top of it.
Wait a minute.
Close your pictures down of us.
No, it went up to the top. Oh, okay. So if I go organization, X.
Yeah.
Okay. That answers that question. Good. Okay. So I can't really move anything to another workspace, but I can eliminate it from here so it only exists in these special non-work.
Yes. And if you did want to mass move all of these into a different workspace, what you can try is click and select everything. Like just click after the colon and drag down like you would highlight an entire contents of no.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay. The last one.
And this is experimental. I've never tried to do this. I think if you right click it, it doesn't give you options to move stuff, but you could try. Click on the more at the top right hand side.
Wait. It worked. It seems to have worked. Hold on. They're all in here.
That moved them to the project, the personal project.
Okay, so they don't.
But it's not a different workspace. The different workspaces are up in the corner.
Yeah, that was a separate question.
Okay.
So they're in personal and only in personal. So personal doesn't show up when you're in the personal project folder. It only shows these other ones because they're in two others.
Yes, because they're in multiples.
Because they're combined. So
and click just to make sure. Click on one of these other ones that is not in multiple things. Yeah, so you can see the tag, but when you're inside of it, it doesn't need the tag.
So I can take all these and also take them out of organization, and I can even take them out of personal, so they're only in wellness.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Good. Okay. I wasn't sure about those things, and also I wasn't sure if like the whole heading's gone too. I think. No, not this one.
You may have moved it along with the other things.
This one is not. So But I can just delete that.
Yeah, or you can change the tag on it as well. Like even the headings have
Okay, good.
tags. Okay.
That took care of those
There
two.
you go.
And so the
Okay,
workspace
you can
stuff, if I want it in that other workspace, I have to manually create it.
Well, you could do I think you could do the copy paste thing. Like you could copy all the tasks and then I think open the other workspace. It might let you paste them in. Not 100% sure, but you could try.
What happens if I select all here? No, nothing. I would have to.
Yeah, and you can muck around with that after. I'm not sure if that will work.
Yeah.
You could also just ask the Asana people if there's a good way to do that.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay.
We're done. Thank you.
Okay, you can hit stop share then.
If I can remember how.
Should be top.
Okay, now this is in the way. Hold on. Here. Okay, good.
Okay. One down. A few more to go. All right. So next up we have Joanne wanted to tackle the Google Analytics connections. So if you want to share your screen, we can try and walk through connecting that on your website and see how it goes. I have done this precisely 3 times in my life. Every single time has been completely different because they seem to change things on like a weekly basis. So we will just walk through it together and see how well we do.
Are you looking for my analytics page or my dashboard on WordPress?
I am looking for wherever you were trying to activate it from that you want to do the next step on.
Okay. Then let me just share this instead.
Okay.
Okay. This is my dashboard for my author website. And I have it set up, or so I thought. And then up at the top here, it says dashboard SSL activated. Don't forget to change your Google Analytics and Webmaster Tools.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that.
Okay.
And then I went to the settings page for further SSL.
Yeah.
And I get this page.
Okay. That's fine.
Now, okay. But my analytics, can you see now when I switch to analytics, can you see the analytics page?
Yeah.
It shows 0, 0, 0, 0. And I know that's not the case because I've had other people go in and look today.
Yeah, so they're not connected. So click under the admin, the little gear on the left-hand side there. Okay.
Can you see it now?
Yep. Okay. So let's look at the property settings on here. And you manually added your website, or it's just this is what it's detecting is there?
No, I manually added them.
Okay. Okay, so click on property settings and we'll see. Okay. Good, scroll back up again. Okay, and then click on the tracking info to the left. And just click down through those. So let's look at tracking code.
I don't see anything, do you?
No. Oh, scroll down.
Here we go.
There we go.
No data received.
Okay. So I think what's missing is this, you haven't pasted the code into your site to track it there. So there are plugins that do this. If Yoast is on your site, let's go back to the WordPress side for a second. Just click on that tab. And we'll see if the Yoast SEO is installed. Scroll down a bit on the left-hand side. No, yeah, scroll down, keep going down on the left. It'll be below settings. Keep going.
That's as far as I can go.
Okay, so go to plugins. And go to add new. And just scroll down a little bit. You've got a couple plugins that want to be updated. So that's a good idea, just to click on update. Oh, we went past that. That's okay. You can do it after, but just make sure you do update them, because whenever you have a plugin that's not updated, it is a potential backdoor. Usually the updates are for security patches. So if you don't update them, then that's how people hack your site. So you want to look in the search bar in here for YOAST.
Which Google Analytics plugin?
Well, that's what we're looking for. Yoast is an SEO plugin, which is really good for you to have. And there is, I believe, there's one spot inside of there where you paste in your Google ID and then you're good. Like, that's all you have to do. So Yoast SEO.
How often should we be checking our plugins for updates?
Every 2 to 3 weeks max.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I get one honest to God, I get one every day on this thing.
Mm.
Yeah, part of it is
plugins, they need updates constantly.
Yeah, because WordPress will do an update and then all the plugins have to update to follow WordPress. And right now, because they've just switched over and they're like iterating very quickly, there's a lot. So right now, probably once a week is good. So click on, for Yoast SEO, click on install now.
The first one?
Yeah,
on the left?
First one. Yep.
That's funny. I thought I had Yoast already in here, but I guess I didn't.
I thought you did too. But I guess not.
So you're saying we don't need a separate plugin? We already have Yoast?
I don't think so. We're about to find out. Like I said, it's been a while since I did this and they've changed everything. So we're all experimenting together. Okay, scroll down.
I activated it in there.
Okay.
So, Yoast.
Settings?
Yeah, one sec. Yes, go to settings.
Oh, this is new at the top too, the Y with the 4 little things.
Yes, that's just messages from Yoast to help you set up, but you're going to see those in a second anyway. Okay, so go to Webmaster Tools. Okay, so you have another SEO plugin in here, which is what one of those messages is saying, just that they may not play nice together. There's your spot for your Google verification code. So we want to go back to your other tab and grab that little ID that it's had at the top of the page.
The tracking ID?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I believe it's the tracking ID. Scroll down and just make sure that there isn't another verification code on this page, but that's what I believe it should be.
No, that's it.
Okay. We'll give it a shot and it will tell us if it didn't work. So then we'll delete it.
Do I have to save somewhere?
Yeah,
Save
I would
changes
think
there.
so.
Okay, save
Yeah.
changes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, and look, there's a link right underneath it that says get your Google verification code in Google Search Console. So if this doesn't work, and we'll test it from the other side in a second, and if this doesn't work, then we'll try the other link.
So do you have to sign
So
up
should
for
I do a
Google
refresher?
Analytics?
Sorry, that was two questions at once. Okay, so in here, click on Send Test Traffic. I don't know what that'll do, but we'll see in a second. Okay, go back to the WordPress side for a second. And just so you guys know, this is what I do when you ask me questions about how to do stuff, is just start clicking things until I find something that looks likely, and or look up YouTube videos on how to do stuff. It isn't magic. It's just like poke, poke, poke until you find the right thing. Okay, so click on the Get Your Google Verification Code in Google Search Console, and we'll see if that's taking us back to the same spot. And if it's not, we know that there's another piece. It's usually easier to start in the website side and then just follow the links they're telling you. That's usually the best way to go. Okay, so you're already a verified owner of this site. Okay, multiple verification methods are good. Great. You've already verified using the HTML upload. Okay, so see here it has Google Analytics. That's what the other tab is that you have open. So if you click on that one and then click Verify, let's see what it asks for at that point. Okay, so you must be using a synchronous tracking code. Tracking code should be in the head section of your page, and you must have the edit permission for the analytics web property. Okay, so you do have permission for your website, so that's fine. Wait, what just happened there? The tracking code's not in the head of your website yet. So go back to the analytics tab. And nobody panic. This is not a thing that you have to do immediately to make your website work. If you're feeling it's all a little bit on the technical side. Okay, so see where there's the global site tag it's talking about? There's a chunk of code that we need to put into your site.
Okay, where do I put it in?
Go back to the WordPress side. And let's try Appearance Editor. Down at the bottom there. One of these edit options has a little box that says additional CSS. In Divi, there's actually a section that says add to header code, which is nice. This one, we're gonna have to paste it in, I think. Okay, go to the other one, the built-in CSS editor that they've got linked just right above where your cursor is. There's a blue, did you know there's no need to change your CSS here? You can edit and live preview CSS changes in the built-in CSS editor. So just above the section where you are, like not where you're clicking around the menu, but further up. It's on top. There's a little blue stripe to the left. Yeah, click on that.
So I have a question just about how to do the, get to the analytics in the first place. Is it something you have to sign up for, or is it automatic because you bought a domain name?
You need to sign up for it. It's actually an account that you set up with Google. It doesn't cost any money, but it is a step you have to do. So click on the additional CSS down on the left-hand side there, Joanne. Okay. We're going to try just pasting it into that box on the bottom left and see if that works. I don't know if that will put it everywhere or if it will just put it on one page or what it will do. It makes a lot of
Do I
exits.
push publish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's going to work, but yeah, okay. So it doesn't want to do that. What's the theme called again? Beautiful Pro?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it really does want to go into the template. Okay, so we want and I think there might be a plugin for this, which would be way easier. Okay, so go back to the plugin section.
Okay.
And then type into the search bar Google Analytics and see what comes up. So we want to go add new though, because it won't be one that already exists. So there should be up at the top is an add new. There you go. You can close out some of these things, like just click the X's to the right. Like the Akismet thing. You can just click enable on the Akismet thing. It'll just have a little thing that says, you know, a GDPR disclaimer.
But I already have one on my privacy.
Okay, that's fine. Then click disable then, and it will get rid of the thing. Right? Rather than just closing it, it's going to pop up every time you come in. If you just click disable, if you know you already have one, you don't have to worry about it, then that'll make it go away.
And then Google. I have no idea why I'm getting this.
Oh, you clicked on the Akismet by accident. There's a bit of a delay, which is making it a bit tricky. Okay, just go back to plugins. Scroll up. Where is this taking us now?
Sorry, I just doing the add new and I'm waiting. Yeah. There's add new. Come on, people.
It has not been a super functional internet day this day, it seems. I don't know what's going on in space, but it's not good for us. Okay. Google Analytics is what we want to type in there.
Ooh, which one?
Okay. What we do when we're choosing is look at the options and see how many people have downloaded them, right? So this one has over 1 million activations. It was last updated 1 week ago, right? So there's also the Google Analytics dashboard. Okay. So really anything that has 1 million activations and lots of good star ratings, it's just like books, right? If 200,000 people have downloaded it and you have mostly 4.5 star ratings and it says it's been updated like a week ago or whatever, in this case, I would go with the one that's updating the most often and has 1 million active views. And even though the other one has 0.5 star more rating, they also have way less reviews. So I would go with the Monster Insights one. If something doesn't have thousands of downloads and installs, you probably don't want to put it in your site, right? It's one of those things where And I speak from experience that I actually crashed the entire West Coast servers for my web hosting company by installing a couple of plugins that were really cool and did some neat stuff, but didn't play together and created this black hole of the internet. So basically don't mess around with it if it doesn't have at least, 10,000 installs.
So I think the one that was conflicting with it was this all-in-one SEO pack.
Yes.
Should I deactivate that one then?
Yeah, let's do that. And you can always turn it back on again.
That one just may have come with the thing
I think
when we were first.
Yeah. Okay, so scroll down.
Okay, so this is it here. Settings.
There's quite a delay, so we're just catching up to you. Yes, settings is good. And Bonnie's been scouting information about the Wix logo maker, and apparently you only get a low-res version unless you pay the $20 to use the tool, which is not cool. Okay. Authenticate with your Google account. Click on that. Now, for most people, they might not actually care about using the actual analytics tools from Google. If you're just looking for how many people visited my site and what pages did they go to, you get that from the WordPress site stats plugin. So it's just, if you want to get more granular information, or if you're looking at, wanting to see the sources of where everybody was coming from and things like that, if you're looking at like having a store on your site and you want to know what countries people are shopping from, things like that, then this becomes more useful. So your Google stuff, I'm assuming, is connected to the J. McLean piece? Yeah, yep. Okay. There we go.
Then allow?
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, so scroll down a little bit. You probably do want to get the automatic updates so that this plugin will just update itself. You won't have to manually do that. When that is an option, it's nice. Up to you if you allow them to track your usage or not. Depends how.
Yeah, not right now.
Yeah, then
not
just click
telling who
save.
they are.
Yeah, just click save changes. And then we do this. Okay, so far so good. Click on tracking tab at the top there and we'll just see what's in there. Okay. Okay, so now there's all kinds of stuff down the left-hand side that you can poke around in. That is, like, click on your demographics. It probably won't show you much yet, but once you give it a little time, it'll start showing you some of these things. So if you click on demographics was one I saw up there, which is usually interesting. And what this means, so ignore these users was one of the options in there. It just means that anyone who's logged into your site as an administrator won't count as clicks. So you looking at your site and editing it and whatever won't mess up your stats.
Am I supposed to be seeing stats in here?
No, these are all settings that just specify what shows up in reports and stuff. So, I mean, all of this stuff is pretty high level. Like, I don't know how much reading you've done about either Google Analytics or the reporting stuff. Like, I don't know what you're wanting to get out of the analytics.
I'm looking for where my site hits are coming from. Like, are they coming from Facebook or Twitter? And I want to see if I put a blog post out where my traffic is coming from.
Okay, so that you can see reasonably well in the WordPress site stats. So for now, if you want to go up on the left-hand side of your WordPress dashboard, I'll show you where to pull that from in here, because I'm pretty sure that's installed already. If you go all the way up to the left by Jetpack. Yeah, it should be under Jetpack, and then there should be site stats. So the basic stuff everybody has. If you have a WordPress.com account, you've got all of this in there automatically. If you have Jetpack installed, then you will have also your site stats in here. So scroll down below the WooCommerce stuff kind of pops up at the top of everything. But okay, so you can see like the refers. This is, if you click on that, you can see that that's how many came from Facebook there. If you click on summaries, you get big chunks of data in each of these sections. So if you go to summaries, you can see how many people came from different sources total, not just like today or yesterday or last week or whatever. Okay, you have to scroll down some more probably. So you can look at 7 days, 30 days, all time is always fun. And it shows you where people are clicking in from.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Alrighty.
so, and if you click on the little plus sign besides search engines, it opens it up, right? The plus sign means there's more info in there. There's another layer of stuff.
Where is the plus?
You can see Facebook and then search engines, and there's like the little magnifying glass, and then there's a plus sign beside search engines. Click on it. It shows you each search engine and where people came from.
Okay.
So each of these,
DuckDuckGo.com.
each of these, DuckDuckGo is cool. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
DuckDuckGo is the new theory, although clearly that's not working. It used to be the browser everybody went to if they were gonna like search for porn or look up how you blow up things or whatever. Like, it's supposed to be like the not tracked browser. Clearly you can see people are coming from there, but it's supposed to have been like non-monitored. So people who didn't want to be tracked by Google and they didn't want their browsing history saved, that's the browser you use. It's like Chrome. It's just for sneaky. Chrome for sneaky. That's what that is.
So
I don't know how well it works.
what was being searched, or is it automatically searched?
Well, if you click on the plus sign under Google search and see what you can see there. Usually I think it has search terms and stuff, but so that's showing you the different countries of Google that it came from.
But it's interesting. We've got Google CA here and then again down here.
Yeah.
Twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who knows? There are some mysteries. Also, this is all time, right? So who knows if Google.ca changed something 5 years ago or, 6 months ago or whatever, then it may show up as two different entities. If you go back to the stats, you can definitely look at search terms, but I think it's in a different section of that main thing, the very first thing we looked at. So the difference between the Google Analytics and this stuff is that you can see how many individual people visited your website through Google Analytics. There's lots of different measures. This is showing you how many page views you have. It's not telling you how many people visited. It's telling you how many things got looked at. So that's different, right? Than if you were just looking at how many unique visitors your site had or how long they looked at each page. You can see that you can see the top posts and pages on the right-hand side there and how many views each of those pages had. So if you're wondering, if you scroll down a little bit more from where you are, if you're wondering, should I put a whole bunch of time into maintaining a page that, for me, say it's all the music in my town. If no one is ever looking at that page, then it's a waste of time for me to spend, all that energy updating it. So you can see what people looked at each day and how many times it was looked at, right? And you can also see what they clicked on from your site to somewhere else. So you can see they're clicking on your books to read and on your Goodread review list, right? So you can see what people are doing once they're on your pages. So there's quite a lot of valuable information that's actually built right into here if you go poking around for it. The search engine terms are that other category on the left-hand side where it's got summaries. If you click on the summaries, you'll get some more interesting stuff in there, where it tells you what people were looking for when they found your website.
One person.
Well, and it's interesting because not a lot of people are honestly searching for stuff actively in browsers. Most people, if you go to your website, that's not how people are finding you. They're putting in your URL or they're getting halfway and then Google's filling it in for them or whatever. To actually stumble on a website from a search term is fairly unusual. Almost everybody who finds my website, my author website, by a search term is because they were looking for microphone. And I have a particular image that is tagged properly, that it is a microphone. It's on my speaking page. And so almost everybody who finds it from a search term is from that. So it's just a weird thing. But if you're looking, you can see that, what people were typing in to find you. So that is useful. And 146
unknown search terms. Great.
All right.
All right. I'm going to stop sharing if that's all right.
You can poke around in the analytics and see what comes up. And Elisa has a picture, which means you have a new laptop, don't you? Yeah, you do. Nice. Very exciting. Okay. So the last thing that was on our list for tonight was to talk about onboarding sequences and stuff. And the good news is, the bad news is we're not going to have enough time to thoroughly cover that in the next 10 minutes. The good news is that we've moved our branding chat from Monday morning to Wednesday evening, which means that we have the entire time on Monday to do kind of a detailed breakdown of that. What I would love from you right now to make sure we don't miss what you're excited about, especially if you can't make the Monday one, is to find out what are the things that you most want to know about the onboarding sequences and getting people onto your newsletter. So if we take a moment and everybody drops in the chat and or tells me what you want to know, then we can make a list of the things we want to tackle, and we can tackle 1 or 2 of them right now. Okay, I have an issue that is about writing content but not craft. Okay. Well, while people are thinking about what they want to know about newsletters, Bonnie, do you want to jump in on that?
Sure, except I was typing that, but I'll just do this instead.
Okay.
So this is a question. I was listening to a really great podcast about Jewish authors writing for Jewish Kidlit. And one of the things that came up was OwnVoices. And somebody talked about like that it's more important to tell your own story, so that I'm interested in doing this series of about mighty Jewish girls at different points in history from very different cultures. And suddenly I felt like maybe I don't have the right to do that because I'm not from those cultures. I'm not Indian, I'm not Persian, I'm not Caribbean, and that would be in some way cultural appropriation, even though it's on some level my culture, but on some level it isn't. And I'm just curious what people think about that, or anybody thinks about that.
I'd say you're definitely halfway there with the being, or maybe 2/3 of the way there. You're a Jewish woman, so that's 2 out of 3, which is a solid start, right? If you were a Jewish man, you would have 1 level more issue to deal with there, because you are sort of focusing on female heroines and Jewish female heroines. So that is a good start. Culturally, for the others, I'm not really sure. They're historical, so that's part of it, right? It's not contemporary, is it?
No, I would be doing history. Yeah. But there's a sensitivity about not telling somebody else's story. Like, I wouldn't be coming from that cultural experience. And so am I telling a story that doesn't belong to me, and somebody else who it does belong to should be telling it. I just had never really thought about it, but I do want to be culturally sensitive.
Yeah. So does anybody have any feedback they want to weigh in on that? It's kind of a hot button topic at the moment, all over the place. YA particularly, but kind of everywhere. Thoughts, impressions?
I've had a bit of an issue with that because I am writing about a diversity that I don't belong to. And I did a great deal of research and interviewing, and I got sensitivity readers, and so far the feedback has been extremely positive. No one's given me any issues on that at all. And the message I got was that if you are going to choose this, do your research, do it properly, and make sure you're committing to it, and make sure there isn't someone else out there that is writing what you're trying to write. And your background is Jewish, I think, isn't it, Bonnie? Bonnie? Your background is Jewish, correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, anybody who writes historical isn't in that moment, obviously. So I think you have more of a right to write these stories than most people. I mean, you know, we're making things up and we're interpreting history that in a situation where we didn't exist. So I don't know. I don't think you should have a problem. But that's just my humble opinion.
I think getting sensitivity readers is really smart. That's definitely something you want to do. You want beta readers and feedback and whatever else. Your challenge will be greater if you are pitching than indie publishing, because so many publishers are just scared right now, and they're not willing to risk anything. So that's something to be aware of, just that it will be one more thing to figure out. But but yeah,
be indie publishing because they're going to be short. They're going to be shorter, and this would be my indie publishing project.
May I ask a question, Bonnie?
If you have any connections,
any connections? I'm sorry, my Zoom is bad.
Yeah, everything's off tonight. Joanne, go ahead first, and then I'll finish that bit.
I wanted to ask Bonnie, you're a Jewish woman writing Jewish woman stories. What's the element that's missing that you're thinking you're appropriating?
Because I'm writing from cultures that aren't mine. So like I would be telling the story of Jewish families in a period of history who went to India and lives in India.
And this is historical.
Yes, it would be historical.
Okay. Okay, so I have a friend who was writing stories about Canadian Indigenous groups on the West Coast, and she is not Indigenous and or First Nations. And she went to the community leaders of the group that she was writing about and asked them to give her their permission, and they reviewed the work and gave their permission. In your case, I really don't think there's anyone that could review the work to give any kind of seal of approval or a permission of any kind. So I'm not sure there's more than that you can do. But again, that's not my culture. So you probably know more than us about who you might turn to for some feedback on that.
That's a good thing for me to remember, because there probably are scholars about all of these periods of history of the Jews, because lots of Jews study it. So maybe I can connect with those people as well as maybe people from that culture, even if they aren't from that past, to just connect. So maybe that's how I do it. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, and I turned off your video because it helped the audio a tiny bit in terms of quality. It wasn't trying to use bandwidth, but you're welcome to turn it back on if you want to go back on mute as well. It's all good. We like to see your shiny face. Okay. So a few questions around newsletters. So Joanne, when you say how many are optimal to get them invested without putting them off, do you mean like how many emails in a sequence? Is that what you're wondering about?
Yeah, I've seen some people say that they have like 12 onboarding emails. And I thought, if I got 12 somebody, I think I would be deleting them. I wouldn't be following them. So I was just curious, like, is there a optimal number? You welcome them, you send them something nice, you thank them again, maybe 3 or 4. And I'm not sure if you want to go over that, or if, maybe I'm out to lunch on what the norm is now.
It's not about a norm so much as it is about what's appropriate in your situation. So if you are an author who has, one series of books and they're all the same kind of book, and you're onboarding a reader, you're just telling them what to expect from being on your newsletter list and getting them used to opening things and interacting with you. So if you have one type of book, then you're just orienting them to you. It's not that you need several different emails to educate them about your different types of books, because the goal is always to only have them do one thing from a newsletter or an email, right? So you want to send them an email that's like, hey, welcome to Joanne's World. I write X kind of books. And, maybe your action that you want them to take is to follow you on BookBub. Or maybe the action you want them to take is to hit reply and tell you a little bit about them so that you know who's on the other end of your mailing list, which then increases deliverability, gets them interacting, and increases your cred with the interweb bots who decide if stuff gets delivered or not, right? So, but you wouldn't want to say, hi, I'm Joanne, follow me on BookBub. Make sure you follow my Amazon profile and, hit reply to this and tell me a thing. And also check out my books on Amazon. Like, you don't want to hit them with multiple things to do. If all you're saying is click here to do a thing, if this is the kind of stuff you're interested in, great, right? You don't want to be asking them for multiple things, because people are not good at choosing and they're not good at coming back after they click the one thing to do the rest of it. So if your focus is on just one thing, then that's why you could end up with multiple emails in a sequence. So for me, because I have some that are sweet romances, some that are intriguey, some that are magic, some that are audiobooks, right? Then that's 4 different emails I probably want to have in my onboarding sequence, because I'm trying to identify what people are interested in. So instead of sending them an email that said, you know, click on a button for each of the types of things you're interested in here, I would only send them one email that said, you know, there are some sweet hometown romances that happen in this place. If you're interested in those, click this one thing. And then that puts them in a group and tags them in my email, so I know who to send stuff about that. Or you could say, click here if that's not really your thing. And then it unsubscribes them from that group, however you want to handle it. But the idea is to just have one action for them to take. Or maybe you have a freebie in each of those types of books that you offer. Then you would send those usually in separate emails, so that it's, again, you're able to easily identify what people were interested in and not what they clicked on, which is not the same thing. If you've got 4 freebies, they might only click the first 1 or 2 and never make it to number 3 because they got distracted by something and wandered off, right? So it is good practice to separate out those elements. Now, there's no right or wrong. Like 2 or 3 is good because you get them practiced at opening your stuff. You probably iron out any bugs if they aren't receiving stuff or whatever, then you can figure it out. But you know, you don't really need 12 unless you have 12 different kinds of books you write, or you think there's some other reason for that, right? You're muted, Marianne.
Oh,
Okay.
what about the new survey tool in MailerLite? Like if you want to find out about their reading preferences, would you break it into a bunch of mini surveys and spread them out? Like, there's so many things you could ask them.
Oh, there's lots you can ask them, but that's you asking for stuff, not you giving stuff or engaging with them in that way. Surveys are usually more of a later in the relationship tool.
Okay,
right?
so you wouldn't put one in the onboarding sequence?
Not unless it was like email 4 or 5. You know, like you've already given them a free thing, you've checked in to see if they liked their free thing and were able to download it nicely, you've introduced yourself a little. Like maybe at that point you start asking about preferences and stuff, but it's
so you
like
would
anything.
probably not automate it.
No, or if you do, like I said, if you do automate it, it needs to, you already have to be engaged by then. Like you have to have given the people who don't want to be there, except for that initial free thing, you got to get rid of those people first before you're asking them to do stuff, right? Because otherwise it's too soon. It's like asking someone you just met if you can throw a party at their house. Like it's too soon. They're not ready. You got to warm them up. You got to get them to trust you. You got to get comfortable. They got to come to a party at your house first and see that you don't break things and have crazy friends. Like it's just like that. You need to, you got to observe all the social niceties.
Okay.
Okay, so, yeah, okay, so wanting to know about the best way to onboard and how to have multiple methods of onboarding, so different funnels, like lesson plans, writing guides. So yeah, we can talk about different inputs into the system on Monday. That's a nice topic to explore, different ways to engage people, and then how your sequence might be different depending on where those people come from. So that will make a very excellent focus, and that fits in also after the initial welcome sequence. What kind of messages do you send and how do you space them out, and how do you avoid like onboarding messages that are still coming out while your weekly email is going out? So, because you don't want to have that crossover, right? And there are ways to avoid that. So that sounds like an excellent agenda for Monday. And people also have homework to finish reading the StoryBrand book, or at least finish reading the section that we will hit on Wednesday.
All I learned was it's complicated.
That would be It is complicated, yes. But why it's complicated is because it's all about simplifying. And that's what makes it hard, is clarifying things down into minimal. And like my favorite example of this is Apple. Like they rock this. Like look at this. Like, that's the packaging. Do you see a lot of stuff on it? Nuh-uh.
Tell me how to personify my villain, and I will take you out for dinner. It's like a small essay, actually. My villain. I don't think I'm getting
I
it.
could do a villain if I could just figure out what my person wants.
There you go. Well, we will be applying the hive mind to this problem for everybody. And it is much easier as a discussion, because it's other people have a much easier time of seeing things clearly about you, right? Like it's like any person.
There was an interesting quote in the book that he was quoting that somebody else had said. It's like trying to read the label from the inside of the bottle. And I thought, yep, that's exactly my problem.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way that it would be helpful for us to look at each other's websites or something before we tried to have the discussion? I feel like I don't know if an hour is really enough to even have that discussion.
Well, we're not going to do all of it at once. We're going to do part of it, right? We're going to do it stage by stage. So we're going to talk about the stage itself. We're going to hear some examples of what people think that first stage is for them, and then we're going to work from there. In most of these cases, I think almost all of us are either building or revising our websites right now. And we are building and revising them based on what we decide our brands actually are, which is not what's going to be reflected on the site. So I don't know that it would actually be helpful to go off and do too much. I think it might be useful to poke around at each other's books for those people that have books that are out there already. That is useful just to see what types of things people are writing and what is the feeling that you get from their current books and covers and whatever else. So you can absolutely. And if you're curious, for sure, poke away at the websites. But don't try to think of distilling the brand from the website, because it's the opposite direction of how we're going to do it.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. And we're going to do this on
I'm just
Monday or
reading
next
Donna.
Wednesday.
Your book
Donna's
is more like a book.
So Yay for Jilted Lovers. I'm also reading that right now on my Kindle, rereading. It's been a few years. And we are going to do on Monday, we're going to do funnels and sequence of onboarding emails. On Wednesday, we're going to tackle StoryBrand stuff. So you've still got a few more days. Try and fill out as much of the sheet as you can, the StoryBrand sheet, so that you know where you're having the most problems, right? And see where you get stuck. So yes, our homework is to try and do a first draft of as much of that as you can, so that you have some stuff to bring, and then we will discuss accordingly. We're not going to try and do everybody's entire brand case study in one sitting. We're going to do probably 3 weeks in a row. We're going to do this, and then we're going to revisit it each time we need to, until we have everybody kind of settled with what they think they need to build their sites and go to the next thing.
But we're,
So,
for
Crystal,
the first week, we're doing the chapter 4, 5, and 6, right?
That's where we're going to start. And then if we've all got perfect clarity, we're ready to go on to the next part, then we will. But we'll play that by ear a little bit.
Chapters 4, 5, and 6?
so
Yeah, because 1, 2, and 3 are just the intro to the book itself.
Hold
And
on.
then the actual sections starts at 4, 5, 6.
okay,
Oh,
so
I'm in the wrong book.
Crystal, you said there was a sheet to fill out. Is that posted on the website
So
somewhere?
I can't post it because it's not my intellectual property. It belongs
Right.
to the guy who wrote the StoryBrand. But I
Okay.
put on last week's office hours.
Okay.
I posted a link to the website where you can download it from.
Okay.
And I will post that again with today's office hours. And then it's
Okay.
the Build a StoryBrand book by Russell, whatever his name
So
is.
I bought that this morning.
Okay, perfect.
So and I feel really bad because next Wednesday I have another meeting I have to go to, but
Well, that's okay. We're gonna do
but
like
I-
3 weeks in a
Yeah,
row, so
but I
you
will
can.
be
That
here
just
the other two.
yeah, that just
sorry.
buys you a little more time. We've all had like a week to 10 days to read the book and get started on the sheets already. So
Yeah.
okay. you can have some catch up time, and then you can join us at the next one.
right.
And you can watch the office hours to see if you need more clarity on part. 4, 5, 6, whatever. The first 3 chunks
Okay.
on that is the top left square of the StoryBrand sheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And yes, thank you, Leslie. I'm glad you think I'm a superhuman superhero, but you know, even we have our limitations.
You're just not wearing a cape, that's all. You need to put your cape on always.
True. It's true. I have a distinct lack of capes at this moment, but yeah, all good. Okay, awesome. Well, it's been fun as always. Fascinating adventures we had. You can tell everybody you took a deep dive into Google Analytics and you learned about WordPress site stats and the inner workings of Asana and all the exciting things.
Thank you for clarifying my
Thanks
problem.
for your help, Crystal.
You're welcome. We will see you back, hopefully not back here, hopefully in the proper office hours Zoom room on Monday. And just FYI, if I'm not sure how carefully people read the posts in Glip, but we have done some magic and you can now log into the Writing Sprints room anytime you want just by clicking the link. You do not have to log in as an administrator. You don't have to do anything like that. You just click the link. Nobody has to be in charge. Everybody manages their own selves.
Oh.
And the only time there will be an actual admin person in there is in the morning or evening ones that are hosted by Eileen, Donna, or I. And then we reserve the right to mute you if necessary. The rest of the time, you're on your own recognizance, as we say.
Okay.
Yeah. So play nice and enjoy the one-click access. It's a big upgrade for us. It's very exciting. So, yeah.
Okay.
Test it out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.